And we're live, guys.
Hey!
Hey, welcome. It's always less.
Blanco.
It's always a little bit less climactic when we're all not in the same room, but you know we're all virtually here together. So let's give a big Babu Frick hey hey. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey!
Hey! Oh, I forgot jazz hands.
Jazz hands. Welcome to Stay on Target. We made it in with all the technical thingies, and we're excited to be here and talk some Star Wars tonight. Hope you can hear us and see us all okay. There's 3 of us tonight. I'm Dan. This to my right on the screen, as our left on the screen, is Nick.
Yeah.
Long lost Nick. And the description.
Been too long. This is Dustin.
And this is Dustin down here, the Phantom Apprentice.
He's down here.
Hello. That was such a good title. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. That was absolutely crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond crazy. The episode we watched the final 10th episode of Clone Wars is just mind-blowing. So we're going to get into that here in a little while. Until then, we're going to jump into a question of the day. All right, you guys, girls, ready for the question of the day? I think
Star Wars question of the week.
Well, specifically Star Wars. Yeah, we talk about all things, mostly Star Wars things here. So mostly Star Wars, but now with Nick here, we're going to talk about all things.
Yeah.
So, quick question of the day. Jump into the chat if you want. If you can see us and hear us, let us know. And
who else here?
I don't know.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. I can't really see anything, so
yeah,
you guys gotta let me know.
And we really appreciate you joining us. They can see on the screen. What is your favorite Star Wars moment? Is the question of this Star Wars question of the day. So we'll let you ponder that for a minute. And it's like Brady Bunch. If I look down, I'm looking at Dustin. If I look to my right, I'm looking at Nick. Yeah, this is working, I think. It feels weird. Nick, when you look to your right. No. I think Nick's looking off into no man's land.
I look behind?
Yeah. You know, where are you, Nick, by the way? I know I think we said you were on Hoth, but it looks like you took a detour.
I'm on Coruscant.
Aha. hanging out with Palps.
Yes.
Papa Palps, for sure. Oh man, this is insane. Well, let's see who's on the chat here, because I am I'm missing it. I haven't checked it yet. So let me just get this squared away here. And Dustin's lower half of his thing is getting chopped off by the Hawk Studio logo. There, that's better. Okay, into the chat here. Everything's looking and sounding good. Looks like Zach is here.
What's up, Zach?
Long lost friend Zach Johnson. He hasn't met Nick yet. Yeah, Zach says this is where the fun begins.
Oh, yeah.
You got that right, Zach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Compadre number 4 is on live with us. Thanks, Zach. He said, hello, Nick. Nice to finally meet you. That's what he said.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
We've only told him bad things about you. I mean, good things.
This is why I was off the show.
No.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm happy to introduce you to each other. Azarhimoto, LOL, y'all are so fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're not allowed to stay in the room together physically, we can stand in a virtual room together and talk about fun things. So that's what we're doing. We're just looking around Brady Bunch style, I guess.
Well, I mean, you may be standing, but I'm sitting.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
In my virtual room.
I'm pooping.
Oh, he turned red.
He turned red. Wow. Oh,
that's
the colors.
weird.
How are you doing that? I'm not even mad. It's impressive.
I am Sith.
Oh,
my goodness.
Sith Lord.
We had Zach on YouTube. My favorite part is when the sequels finally ended. LOL.
Good one.
Nice.
I like this guy.
Alisand is here. Said, "Hey guys," with a clap and a happy face. I love it. I love it. And then our Hawk Studio Productions producer said, "Nick is back. The band is back together again." That's right.
Yeah.
It's been
the gang's all here.
It's been a few eps since we were all together.
Ooh, getting fancy with the terms.
Getting fancy with it.
Quite a while.
But anyway, Nick, let's Dustin interview Nick. You got to ask him grill him with all the questions. Where has he
Sure.
been? What has he been up to? I guess I just asked the questions.
What he said.
Well, I haven't been around. So that's about it. Yeah.
Yep.
Just been at my house without
Just quarantined like everybody else probably.
Yeah. Staying inside. Except to go to the grocery store.
Yeah. And you're on Hoth, so it's pretty hard for you to get connection where you're at.
I got to find my Tauntaun.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went.
Wherever your Tauntaun went. Oh my goodness. So I guess so the question of the day was, what's your favorite Star Wars moment? And I guess I'm just finally putting it together because I'm so slow. That Zach's favorite part of this moment was when the sequels finally ended.
Oh.
Yes.
None of us got that.
None
Wow,
of us
that
got
took us
that.
a while.
I got it.
Oh,
I agree.
Nick got it.
Oh,
So
That's a good one.
that's why we needed Nick. That's why we needed Nick.
Nick and Zach are on the same wavelength.
Right.
And then he actually just came in and said, "Just kidding. My favorite part is when Lando destroys the second Death Star and screams the yeah."
Yeah.
That's a.
You're like a stack of pancakes.
Like a short stack of pancakes.
Oh man.
That's a really good scene. I like that scene too.
That's a
And
good
he's
one.
wearing Han Solo's clothes. You notice that?
Right?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I want to see the backstory on that.
Right?
Right.
He was actually his replacement. He didn't. George Lucas didn't think anybody would notice.
Right?
Well, I guess he probably had a couple spare outfits on the Falcon. Probably.
Yeah.
But
It's
they
just, yeah.
does that mean they're the same size though, or did he have it custom tailored to fit him?
I don't know.
I
How
don't
do
know.
clothes work in the Star Wars universe?
I don't know. Does anybody out there know?
Where they get Star Wars clothes?
Right?
How-
Yeah. How do they work? Like, do they just like morph to your size or what?
I'm sure they have some interesting stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
Right.
It's a good question.
In Star Trek, it looks like they morph to your size because they're all like painted on.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just remember Captain
They're like
Picard.
onesies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
That's what they all look like, are like onesies.
Yep, exactly. So, I don't know. Zach said, "Yeah, I don't get why he has Han's clothes a bit strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Weird.
a tad strange on the strange side, but
He wanted to embody Han.
Masculinity.
literally
He wanted to embody Han as he destroyed the second Death Star because Han helped destroy the first one.
Yeah. He just wanted to top Han. That was the main motive.
Yeah. He's like, I did it, and I did it better looking than you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I won't do that again.
Yeah. You better not. It was pretty bad.
My
You're scaring
Lando
people.
impression needs some work.
We lost viewers on that.
That was good, but yeah, everybody tuned out. Now, anybody have any, Dustin or Nick, do you guys want to jump in with your favorite Star Wars moment, or do you want to wait a few minutes? Comments and people are still joining in. So yeah, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think my favorite, probably when Anakin and Padme are falling in love on Naboo.
Oh god.
No.
Great Sam.
That is that is one of my least favorite.
It gets everywhere.
Oh man.
The
No,
creep factor was turned up to 11 on that scene.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, no, I'd probably have to say one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars. Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all of Star Wars, that's all you have to do is encapsulate 12 movies, 80,000 episodes of TV, and
Mm-hmm.
Right.
for us it has to be a little more narrow. But yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to say. You could pick one from I don't know. Yeah, just pick a movie and find your favorite part of that movie.
I don't know, one that pops out for me, favorite parts of Star Wars. I think I just love whenever Luke ignites his green lightsaber. I don't know why that one's just coming to mind. I love that's kind of piggybacking off last week. Piggybacking. But but I love when he lights his green lightsaber for the first time and you're like, this guy's a Jedi.
That
Watch
was
it.
on Jabba's barge, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they fulfill their plan and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. And sure all the humans just saw that, but we are using a quality product called Zoom, and Zoom just told me for the first time in all of our live streams that we may have to get off in 10 minutes and come back in. So we might be taking a commercial break, but I've got the perfect commercial to be showing you guys when we get to that point. So technology.
Oh my gosh.
But that's awesome. I did change the question of the day to make it easier on all the people out there. What is one of your favorite Star Wars moments? There, instead of what is your absolute all-time favorite? What is
all-time favorite?
What is one of your
only deals in absolutes?
Yes, exactly. Zach said, "Yeah, I don't get why yesterday. Oh, Han clothes. Maybe it's like Back to the Future, how Marty's jacket in the future sizes itself."
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And then he
hits
said,
a button, it just goes zoop.
he said the scene where the Emperor tells Anakin about Plagueis is pretty awesome as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good scene.
Yes.
You ever heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yes. The music.
Yeah.
Wasn't that who Snoke was? Wasn't Snoke?
Plagueis?
I'm kidding.
That would have been way. That would have been way better if he was Snoke.
There was a time where the speculation was Snoke was or could have been Plagueis.
Yeah,
So-
it would have been. I'm pretty sure we could have written a better sequel trilogy. Honestly. I think a hardcore Star Wars fan probably could have written a better sequel trilogy that was laid out better than the sequel actually ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just throwing shade at the sequels today. Starting off.
I know, right? It's a good episode.
It's a good episode. Nick, do you got any thoughts on that, or I can jump in if you?
One I would think of is probably one of the end scenes of Rogue One, where Darth Vader goes ham on all the rebels.
Yes.
Yeah, that made me really happy to watch. That's a good scene. Hall Monitor of the Year.
Yeah.
Wow, it's true.
Yeah.
That was.
I'm not a dark person.
You just prefer dark hallways.
Yes, I do. Whoa! Face disappeared for. Whoa! Oh! What happened?
You're not a dark person, but you're turning
I'm
darker every
fading
minute.
into oblivion.
Lean forward a little bit.
I can't. This is as far as I can go.
There he goes. There he goes.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Oh no, we're losing it.
Check that out.
Oh man.
Well, Zach, until Nick comes back.
What was that?
Maybe if I
Until Nick
exit
comes
and come back in.
Zach said that would have been a better story for sure, though. We were talking about maybe Snoke and Plagueis or anything of the sort. We might have to, on the commercial break, we got 6 minutes till commercial break anyway, so on the commercial break, we might have to recalibrate the calibration systems.
I might have to check out what's going
It's
on
the
here.
Phantom Apprentice.
Right?
That's perfect.
Hello, everybody.
So,
You can
Nick-
see my shadow of my hand, but you can't see my hand.
So, Nick, what do
There
you?
it is. Whoa! I have no idea what happened. This is the greatest thing in my whole life.
What have you been up to, Nick? Mastering invisibility, apparently.
Yes, quite.
Well, I would say one of my favorite moments in the Star Wars universe has to be. Oh my goodness, there's just too many of them. I'm gonna go. I guess in the movie, I'll just pick the movie universe. But I always was enamored with the final scene on Return of the Jedi when he's on the. I mean, you can't go wrong there on the Death Star, and they're watching. You know, he's Emperor, basically the Emperor final scene with Luke and Vader. And that whole, the tension there, and Luke, you know, kind of going bad as the Emperor's trying to trick him and twist him, and he finally says, nope, ain't gonna happen. So that's one of my favorite moments. But that's a pretty easy one to pick. Beyond that, I would say second would be actually in Rebels, when Kanan has his moment.
Yes.
That moment was insane. Not as many
That was
people have
so
seen
good.
that, but when Kanan Jarrus does his thing, crazy cool in Rebels.
Very cool. That was the music. Everything about that was amazing.
Oh, yeah. And
Pitch Perfect. I mean, if that would have been in movie form, it would be the top. I mean, it would be so amazing. It was already incredible again and animated, but can you imagine that like live action on a big screen?
Oh man. Nick's trying to get his thing back. Yeah, I could. I honestly can't imagine.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Sweet.
He's back. He's less
Fixed
invisible now. He took his invisibility medicine.
it's a condition.
It's a condition.
It's a chronic condition in these times. That's why we couldn't have him on. We tried to get him on, but we couldn't see him. We couldn't find him.
He was actually on the whole time.
He was.
Look, now you can see there's a green glow around me. Oh.
We got any other favorites?
Ariane on Facebook said, I loved a lot about Rogue One. It's hard to pick one moment. But you have to pick one. You have to pick a moment.
Yes.
One moment makes it easier than like the moment. But I haven't seen any other moments come through just yet.
Oh, this is one of the biggest ones. I mean, it's one of the biggest surprises in all of cinema. I don't know why I didn't think of this right away. It was whenever Darth Vader says, "No, I am your father." Yep. I remember being blown away as a kid. When I first saw that, I was like, "What? No!" I felt his pain. And that was the other thing, too. It was like whenever he yelled no, it was like we were all right there with him. We were like, "No, that's our hero."
Yeah.
Shivers down your spine.
Yeah. I mean, it still does. To this day, when I watch it, I'm just like, whoa.
Right. It's that pause right before he says it.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
You know it. You almost know it's coming, but not really. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That was the shot heard around the world right there.
I thought that was baseball or something.
I thought that was
that was the Revolutionary War.
The Revolutionary War. That's what I was going to say.
No.
The British are coming. The British are coming.
Dustin.
I don't know.
It was the pitch heard around the world.
Right.
Okay, maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Maybe not. But we got about 2 minutes till commercial break. I like how we have built-in commercial breaks, and I sit here and count down the clock because we have nothing.
Who's our sponsor? We need some sponsors.
There's no sponsor, but what I'm going to jump into is a video that we it's about 4 minutes or so, recapping our 24 episodes that we have successfully done to this point. So we started this whole kit and caboodle way back in November, like the first week in November, I think. November 2nd. Yeah. Was that when Mando came out?
Yes.
Or November 9th.
I think, yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
It was the first week of November. Second week of November.
Yeah, it was a big day. We were super excited, and we're like, hey, we got to talk about this. We're going to create a podcast. And here we are, and it's still not in podcast form, but we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook every day, or once a week anyway.
Oh, man.
And we've basically, live show, exactly. We basically haven't missed, a week, pretty close to it. I think we're maybe 24 out of 25. So, and in that time, Mandalorian season 1 came and went, episode 9 came and went, and here we are. Well, the pandemic has come and hasn't gone completely, but it's still here. And here we are in the last couple episodes of Clone Wars final so what a 24-week period we have hit. So there's a 24 recap video recapping season 1. I kind of titled this the start of season 2. Typically, like, TV shows were 24 episodes or 22, 23, 24. So, hey, we made it through season 1. We're going to jump into season 2 and, mark our accomplishments as we get them.
Yeah.
And what a better way to do it than have Nick here with us on the start of season 2 virtually. Yeah. So before we get booted, I'm going to jump in and we will reconnect here in just a few minutes. Get a drink of water and buckle up. This is going to be awesome. Thanks for tuning in.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Stay on target. Stay on target. Loosen up. They came from behind.
I don't know how to start it. That's a good question.
So this is what popularity looks like. Hey, everybody.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back.
We've actually been here for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Numero dos.
Welcome back to Stay on Target.
Suka!
Here we are.
Episode 5 of Stay on Target. We are live. Stay on Target. How you guys doing?
Hey.
How you guys doing, Dustin, Nick?
Oh, we're pretty good.
You can't not go to Arnold.
I know, right? It's fun.
I don't
Good
think it
stuff.
was on the right camera there for a
Right.
minute, but I think we're live.
We're live.
Hey, welcome to Stay on Target, guys.
Welcome.
Okay, we're live, guys.
Are we?
Take two. We got
two.
this.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
We tried a live
We're
stream a few
back.
minutes ago, and it failed miserably. We're live.
What's
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
It's always exciting when I think we're live, and I think we are live.
Right.
Welcome to Stay on Target.
Yeah.
Welcome. We're live. Hey.
If people were listening on really tight headphones, that blew their ears away, probably.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Like,
Yeah, we should probably think about
There we
that.
go.
Welcome
In.
from outer space.
We are floating away in the vastness of space.
Surprise!
I was holding my breath that whole time.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Oh, that was impressive.
Yeah.
Hello.
Peekaboo!
Look at you.
Look
Well-
at you.
Okay, so you couldn't hear us. So
Oh,
welcome
yeah.
to
okay.
Stay on Target.
Hey, let's do this again.
Well, hello.
Half of your face is missing, Dan.
Hello.
Wow. Hey, everybody.
what's
Welcome
up?
to Stay on Target. A couple of flukes, but we're here.
Yeah, we
here.
are.
Hello.
Hey. He said, "Look at the camera."
Look at the camera.
Look at the
I think we're live.
I am looking at.
Are we?
Oh, what? Yeah, we're live.
Hey.
Hey. Hello
Hey.
there. How's it going?
Welcome to the live episode number 19 of
Yeah.
Staying on Target. Staying on Target?
Staying on target.
Stay
We're
on
always
target.
staying on target.
Beyond the target that is to stay. I'm
Dan.
Nick, and
This is Nick, and
Where'd he go?
Dustin was here. Oh my goodness, Dustin!
Hey, that's
Scared
what
me
we
there.
call movie magic in the biz.
Movie magic.
Movie magic.
Oh, love it.
Welcome to Stay on Target, everybody.
Welcome.
This is the virtual live, not together version, the quarantine edition.
Quarantine edition.
Well, hello, everybody.
hello, everybody.
What's up?
Stay
What's
on
up?
Target. Stay on Target. Hey, Dustin, how you doing over there? How you doing over there?
Pretty good, man. How you doing? Good, man.
Yeah,
How
I'm
you
doing pretty
doing?
good.
Yeah,
man.
I'm
This
doing
is,
pretty good, man.
New
This is,
venture here.
we
New venture
are,
here. We are. Welcome to Stay on Target. What's up, Dustin?
What's up, Dan? How's it going, man?
Welcome to Stay on Target. Live episode number 24. 24. Pulling out some Spanish, you know. It's important. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next
See ya
time.
later.
Bye bye.
Coming in hot.
And we're back. That was fun. Those 24 episodes were a gem. Those were fun. Those were lots of fun.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
Oh yeah, it was great
It
fun.
was, it was fun watching the progression. It was like
Right.
we really didn't know what we were doing in the beginning. I mean, we still don't 100% know what we're
Yeah,
doing.
right?
But it got pretty goofy as it went on.
Yeah, it's true.
It's still goofy, man.
It's still goofy, and we didn't know
I
how
know,
we were going to do this with quarantine rulings and all this stuff, and we kind of did it, and
Right.
every single one pretty much had some kind of audio issue. So as long there may be, I don't think there's been any audio issues so far, but I guess we'll find out later. But everybody on the
Yeah.
chat.
Well, now there will be.
Well, now they're
Everybody's
probably-
like, yeah, you guys, your lips were moving, but we couldn't hear a word you said.
That happened to us a lot before too.
Yeah, well, we will make sure to post that video. It'll be on our YouTube channel, so if you guys want to watch back the progression, it is kind of cool for us to see the progression, because even at Nick's haircut, episode 1 and 2, that's quite a progression.
Yeah.
It was like long, and then it wasn't.
Nick, did you hear us talking
Yeah.
last week about our haircuts and getting long? We said we should get the Nick special.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
But yeah, go for it.
we'll just grow it out, and Nick's an expert at cutting his own hair, so
Yes.
we can have him cut our hair.
Right. And I mean,
As I
if you look closely on that second episode, you can tell like I missed a few spots because the clippers I was using ran out of battery. So I just went with it.
You just went with it.
Yeah, with it.
Yeah.
You just roll with it. Roll with it.
That's
I
fine.
just roll with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the question of the day was brilliant. So,
Brilliant.
Arian,
I did want to say real fast, thank you
Yeah.
everybody who has watched all 24 of our episodes.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the support and all the love out there. We have some great fans, and thanks for being a part of the conversation. Also, if you're new here, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Check us out on all the socials, and say hi in the chat or something. We're good. We're glad to have you.
Yeah. Without you, there'd be no us.
Yeah.
that's a good phrase. I like that.
What was it?
Without you,
Without
there'd be no.
there'd be no us.
Yes. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. So thanks for encouraging us and supporting us. And we will get this to podcast form very soon. They're all ready to go. They just need to be uploaded and titled, and we'll have our new logo soon because that's looking pretty slick. But hey, we got some different backdrops. Not a lot looks different on this first episode of season 2, but more will come. And maybe we'll do an episode from like outside one day or something. I don't know. We can actually be outside.
Social distancing outside episode.
Right.
If we have to, we'll do it.
We'll do it. Don't tempt us.
If it warms up on Hoth, we'll do it. So,
right. Yeah.
Ariane did say her favorite. She love that moment. If I had to pick one, I'd pick when Leia reveals that Han that Luke is her brother.
That is a good one. Yeah.
Great one. That's a good moment. And the
Yeah,
moment, and the moment when Yoda reveals there is another.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Skywalker.
And
Also, we have
Then he disappears.
Carmen on Facebook, I believe, said, "My pals, so nice."
Yeah.
Yes.
Good to see you, Carmen.
Yeah, absolutely. We all used to live close to each other at one point. I guess we
Yeah,
all.
we did.
Aw.
I guess we
Except
all.
Dustin.
Except Dustin. I guess we all still live
Yeah.
pretty close to each other, but we were all.
Hoth isn't a big planet.
No, it's not that big. And Ariane said, "Love that haircut change was epic." Or LOL, that haircut change was epic. Yep, I love the recap video. Thanks for sharing. You're very welcome. And thanks, Carmen. Do you have a favorite Star Wars moment? If you see the question of the day, we're asking one of the favorite Star Wars moments. So chime in on the chat. Be a chat chimer anytime.
Chat chimer.
Chat chimer.
And until then, we've got a little news video. Check this out. All right, there was some Star Wars news this week. Believe it or not, there was some news made. They talked about it the week before in various trades, but Star Wars officially came out and talked about the new Mandalorian behind-the-scenes show. The title of it is a little weird at the moment, but I guess it's going to be a part of what's called Disney Gallery, the Disney Gallery, and it will be showing the making of. It looks like it's a series of episodes talking about the making of The Mandalorian, which is so cool. They're interviewing cast and crew, and Filoni gets to talk, and Favreau, of course. So I actually have the clip here, and it's gonna be playing on the sidebar while we talk, so they can see what's going on. I know you dudes can't see, but Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm just gonna be, recanting this. All the stormtroopers. I want to hear all the people that joined in with the 501st. It showed that clip. They can't hear this either, by the way, so we're not going to get booted. But it says It says this is Disney Gallery, so that's I guess what they're going to call it. Many of their making of stuff. It's brilliant. They're kind of creating new genres, an 8-episode docuseries, and it shows them showing obviously the VFX and kind of like roundtable discussions. I'm assuming the roundtable discussions aren't like before. They have to be after,
Yeah.
What a roundtable! Taika Waititi, Dave Filoni, I mean, Jon Favreau, all the
Yeah.
amazing directors that we didn't really know before this show. But after seeing the show and the differences in the episodes by the directors, makes me want to hear everything they have to say. And, of course, this roundtable, because that's how the show was made based on what we heard, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. What I wouldn't give to be in that room with all of those people.
Right.
The creatives. Oh, man. I would love to just be a person that dies on that show.
Right. How was that extra that got killed off real quick?
Yeah. I was in the
2
frame
seconds.
for like 0.2 seconds.
Yeah. That'd be
And I
great.
made it. That's all I want.
I made it.
Absolutely. I love the choreography. They're showing some of that. That's going to be cool to see. Really cool. All the stunt
Oh,
people,
yeah.
all the Mandos.
Yeah. And we're just going to get so much insight into how they did it all, where they're pushing technology and how they seemed all together, how they came up with a lot of the stories, probably how difficult it was to like work in the Star Wars realm, but working with the greats like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I mean, come on, we talked about it last week. Dave Filoni is the apprentice. So
Exactly. Yeah, he is.
So true.
The master and the apprentice. And he proved it again in this Clone Wars episode that we're going to start talking about here shortly. But masterfully done. And when he jumps into the Star Wars universe and tells a story, it's as good. And I mean, maybe not as good, but it's close to George Lucas quality as far as storytelling. And he may be becoming the master at all of this, right?
Yeah. Well, especially with, I think what's even shown even more, to be honest, even than The Mandalorian. I think The Mandalorian was just a taste in a way, because there wasn't a ton of lore. There was some lore, but there wasn't a ton of lore. But I think where he's really shining, actually, was the last episode of Clone Wars and this episode of Clone Wars. I think this, to me, proves that he is the apprentice. And I have also been hearing rumors that he's been George Lucas has been the biggest fan of this series and has complimented Dave Filoni multiple times on this series, on these episodes, especially these recent ones, because they're fantastic. I am so excited. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's like the ultimate goal of anybody, is to be complimented by George Lucas, And I mean, I think he definitely deserves it, working on these last 2 episodes of Clone Wars and the whole Mandalorian series. For sure. 100% agree.
Yeah. If not anything else, Dave nails the tone of Star Wars. He nails the look. He nails the tone. He knows what Star Wars is about to its core, and that just permeates through all of his work when it comes to Star Wars. And it's funny too, because he started off as just a huge fan of Star Wars. He was actually, I think, working for Nickelodeon at the time on Last Airbender, and got a call from Lucasfilm about doing the cartoon, the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So, which is so cool. I mean, there's hope for us too.
Right. Yeah. We're fans. Let's make a show, guys.
Right.
Woo!
Next time we're working for Nickelodeon, we'll just wait for our phone call from Lucasfilm.
Right. Because they're just handing out those jobs.
Yeah. Zach might be closer than us though, because he's an aspiring director.
He is an aspiring director, and he's got to send us a link to one of his videos or something so we can check it out.
For sure.
And,
we should have him critique our fan films, or maybe we shouldn't.
Maybe we shouldn't. Like, what did you hate about our videos? Tell us the brutal truth.
Oh man,
we thought you were our friend.
We thought it. Well, this video is still scrolling along the side here. It's just cool to see the imagery. Every time I see the baby, Werner Herzog, and it's just crazy. So
I wanted to see that guy talk some more.
Yeah,
right.
I hope he's in the cast interview parts. I didn't see him in the. I mean, besides some of the behind the scene footage, I don't know if he actually did the sit down. He probably didn't do the sit down, but I don't know. It's crazy. The combination of what they did with storytelling, the humor, the special effects. It's just The Mandalorian. That's the pinnacle right now of Star Wars storytelling, and Clone Wars is brilliantly doing. I mean, the things they've pushed forward in the animated world And
Yes.
this, especially this Siege of Mandalore. I mean,
Yeah.
first and second part today. I mean, the second part here was crazy cool looking. I mean, amazing animation. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second. Maybe we should just jump into it. But
Do it.
but I think before we get there, the Mandalorian, we're definitely excited about this. Drops on May the 4th.
May the 4th
Perfect
be with
timing.
you.
May the
A
fourth.
coincidence.
Yeah. Did they know that was the 4th has something to do with
Huh.
Star Wars?
What? May the 4th? What?
Filoni knew it, but the Lucasfilm people didn't.
Right? They're like, oh, wow.
They're like, let's see, what's a good
May
Friday?
the 4th.
What's a good day we could drop it on? Let's just maybe the 4th. I don't know. There's nothing going on the 4th. And
They should
Filoni,
do May the 3rd, just to throw everybody off.
Oh,
should.
gosh.
They were so close to greatness.
They were this close.
you ruined the marketing.
Right.
Well, because May the 4th is a Monday. Yeah, it's a Monday. So
And then there's
It's a
Revenge of the 5th.
it's a Monday.
Yeah.
And Revenge of the 5th, yeah. So they actually thought it, and then it was Sam Witwer that came in and said, no. May the 4th is the important one.
Yeah, right.
Sam
It
Witwer
would
came in and
be.
trumped it. Because he knows
Oh,
as much as
man.
I want to see him and Filoni duke it or talk out,
Yes.
the history
Duh.
and all that.
Star Wars trivia between
Yeah.
those two. That would be awesome.
He just schools them every single time. Dave's just getting so upset.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, I think that would be a tough battle. I guess it would be basically who could remember the most at that point, and
Yeah.
with pressure, because when you're under pressure, it's a different situation than just
Mhm.
casual conversation.
Yep. And
Because pretty much every time we're on the show, I forget half the things. I know what they are, but I forget them all. I never thought somebody could forget so much without a severe blow to the head.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a cool stat fact that I'll bring in maybe in a minute, but Zach said on YouTube it'd be cool if Dengar or Bosk were in the next season. What do you guys think about that?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
that would be awesome.
That'd be sweet.
That would work well too. It's right in the realm there.
Yep.
You guys think they're gonna bring Boba Fett back? I think if there's one show that's gonna bring Boba Fett back, I think this would be the show that would bring him back.
Yeah.
I think they already did. I mean,
Really?
That's true.
As a hint, you know what I mean, at the end of that
Oh.
one episode.
Yeah.
Oh, with the boot?
I think that was him.
Boot? I thought that was Moff Gideon.
Yeah, it might have been Moff Gideon, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't actually see the rest of his calf.
But
It's true. It would make sense to be Moff Gideon because it's kind of an odd place to put like a super huge. Like, why wouldn't they save that for the end of the season? Or,
Right.
Season ending or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, and they were on Tatooine. That was the other thing. But it kind of felt like misdirection, but it could have been because it was Tatooine. So it was like, maybe it was him.
All right.
it's crazy.
And
'cause-
if they bring him back, I hope they give him the voice that they gave him in Robot Chicken. Down no solo.
Go Solo. Yes.
I hope so.
That'd be hilarious.
He
That'd
was
make my day.
he was hilarious in the Robot Chicken stuff.
Yeah.
Not for kids.
Whoa, wouldn't go out like a punk like that. He did that. Yeah. He's like, oh, he's not crying.
Down goes solo.
Oh my goodness, there's too many funny parts there. Yeah, I don't know. Is it true they're bringing Ahsoka in season 2 or no?
I don't know if it's actually been confirmed yet.
Yeah, I still wonder if that's a rumor or if they're actually going to go there.
It might be confirmed. I thought Rosario Dawson was talking about it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Yeah,
I've also heard rumor that they want to do an actual live action Ahsoka series. I think that takes place. I think it's around the time though, so they might be trying to intermingle them. So it would make sense.
that would make sense.
I think they could also throw in Ezra. I've talked about this before. Ezra and
Ezra would be
Thrawn and all
cool.
those. Yeah, I think that would be awesome if they did that. And if anybody's going to do it well and tie everything in so perfectly, it's going to be Dave Filoni.
It is going to be Dave Filoni because
And yeah, and also sorry.
okay.
Also, this was almost a way for Dave Filoni to get his teeth wet with that the right term? That sounded weird.
His teeth wet?
I don't know if that's the right term.
What is he, a scuba
Think his
diver?
teeth in? I
I
don't
think
know.
it's his feet wet.
Yeah,
Feet.
there's a good chance for him to get his teeth wet. You know,
Wow.
light in water.
Oh man, viruses.
Oh, those teeth.
But yeah, no, but just so that maybe he could build up, his experience with the Ahsoka live action, and then
Yeah.
he'll take over and do Ahsoka while Jon Favreau is still mainly working on, the Mandalorian. So then they can be kind of working together,
Yeah.
but they have their own kind of separate shows. But with him still being overall in charge, that's
Yeah.
just an idea that makes sense to me.
Would you be nervous if Dave Filoni wasn't involved in season 2?
I think it depends on who they bring.
You know what I'm saying?
in.
If Dave Filoni was busy elsewhere, I don't know why he would be, but you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Or maybe season 3. Let's just say he's in season 2. Season 2's amazing, and then they move on from season 3, and Favreau moves on from pass the reins to somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I think it also depends on how many seasons they're gonna make.
Yeah,
You know, like if there's only 3, why not just stick around for the third one?
it's true.
That would make sense.
And because
I mean-
they're rolling in the dough and they're rolling in the fans, and why would they change that formula? You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how much training, he's got from Filoni. I don't think Jon Favreau feels comfortable enough in the Star Wars world without Favreau yet, or Filoni yet.
He doesn't feel comfortable without himself.
Yes.
Favreau, come on, Favreau. I'm coming, Favreau.
He's just talking to himself. Like, this guy's lost it. Yeah. Also, I hope that Favreau brings some more Star Wars cuisine to the next
Cuisine.
his cooking show.
Right.
Yeah.
That cooking show. So good.
Yep.
They did the one on Skywalker Ranch. That was the best one. That was so good. And Filoni was in that. It was so cool.
Yep.
Oh my.
It's anything
Yeah.
anything with them together. That's what I'm so excited about this behind the scenes video. They're gonna,
Yes.
because them just chatting and the things they talk about is brilliant.
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 Is it possible for Favreau to be in Clone Wars still, or does the timeline not work?
No, well, you
And
mean
the
like
Sith-
his character?
Yeah. I can't remember. Is his character
Pre Vizsla?
Is his
Pre
character
Vizsla's he's gone. Yeah.
okay? Yeah.
Here you go.
So,
Unless it's like the Descendant or something like that, because
yeah.
there was that other Vizsla that was in the Mandalorian.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he made it out. That's interesting. I don't know.
I don't know.
That he was boss though with that sweet like minigun thing.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah. He just owned.
And the jetpack.
I forget his name. Fact checker.
Check
Yeah.
some facts.
If you want fact checker to check it was something Vizsla, obviously.
Yeah,
in the Mandalorian, Jon Favreau's Mandalorian character in the Mandalorian.
Yeah. He was the one who kind of gave the Mando a hard time.
Yeah.
Questioned him.
Yeah, shoot.
Try to
I
sum
should
it up.
remember it. But yeah, fact checker will definitely enlighten us shortly. And until then, we're going to jump right over into the main topic. I don't have a main topic video yet, but it's coming. So the only thing that changed is the graphic at the top. So now everybody knows it's the main topic. And then eventually the spoiler alert will show up. So if you see the spoiler alert, you need to, and if you haven't seen this episode, because it just came out today on Disney Plus. I mean, today, depending on your part of the world. Well, actually, it's US only, isn't it? Do they have Disney Plus anywhere else yet?
I don't know. I think so. I think it's around the world.
Is it?
I think Europe. I remember our guy
Oh, James
Sangrum
Sangrum.
talking about. He's like, "This is me from the future in like April of 2020, watching the first episode of The Mandalorian, something like that." So
I think you're right. It was released like a lot later in Europe
yeah,
for some reason.
the licensing things. I think because of they have a Star Wars dedicated channel. Remember that?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
because they are, I mean, all of them were made in England or whatever, or
Yeah.
London.
Just got confirmation from fact checker that it's Paz Vizsla. I
Paz.
think. We think
Paz
it's
or
Paz
Paz,
Vizsla.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So he has to be a descendant. We don't know that for sure, right?
Yeah, it's but with Filoni and with Favreau, and especially the connection, it makes sense, or at least he was of House Vizsla. Maybe he wasn't a direct descendant. Who knows? But of Clan Vizsla, because they have like their clans,
Yep. It's true.
Which would put him technically with the Death Watch. Might have still followed Bo-Katan, but that sect might have joined Maul. Because there was that followed Maul, and there was rumors and thoughts that the armorer, because of the horns that were on her helmet, could have possibly been a follower of Maul as well at some point.
Interesting.
Potentially,
and Zach Johnson jumped in. I'm not sure what order, but he also came in with Paz Vizsla. So we got double fact checking tonight.
Double facts.
Double facts, baby.
So I think we're going to talk about. This is as big as it gets when it comes to Clone Wars.
Are we spoilers or non-spoilers?
We're non-spoilers right now. So if you haven't seen, like I said, the episode 10, it's called The Phantom Apprentice. I got
perfect title.
The graphic here.
Great title.
The image.
It works.
It's perfect. The Phantom Menace. He was the Phantom. Well, was he the Phantom Menace, or he was working with the Phantom Menace?
He was the same title in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, so it's the Phantom Menace. Really, is just the Sith in episode 1, which includes him and Sidious. But I think that's why they called him the Phantom Apprentice in this one, because really that's what he was in the first one, and definitely in this one, because he's not the
whatever it is.
He's not the apprentice anymore. So
yeah,
man, they're so good with this. I want to spoil everything.
It's
already.
Crazy.
It's all.
It's crazy. I couldn't look away. I was watching and I was like, "This is crazy," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" I was watching it in the studio, so I had these headphones on too, so the sound was tight. Everything was amazing. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is epic!" The score, sound effects, the dialogue.
The animation.
Good grief. The fight animation. Crazy. Like we could study that for a long time. Zach came out on YouTube. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, we have thoughts on that. I'm not sure if we have if we know or not, but we have some thoughts on that. I don't want to give it away necessarily, but how they shot some of those scenes, it looked way more crisp and fluid and lifelike in a lot of ways. And I was like, that? I thought I heard something about that, so I don't want to give anything away.
I think they're getting fancy with the spices. That's what I'm giving away.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the best animated fight sequence I've ever seen, ever. And with lightsabers. You know what I'm saying?
In the animated, you're right, yeah.
Animated, and one of the best just lightsaber fight duels on screen.
Yes.
Length of fight. Agreed. Depth, the terrain, the dialogue in the moment, the epicness of the moment, the
lore.
The lore that was coming out. Holy smokes.
Oh man!
Yeah,
I don't want to give too much away. We're not spoilers. But
Zach had a question, so let's get out of it. What is your favorite cameo in any Star Wars film or show? Mine is the John Williams cameo in Rise of Skywalker. Did we know?
I didn't even see that. I didn't even notice.
Shoot, I don't own the disc yet, so I haven't seen all the bonus features.
Zach is owning us.
Did you hear about that, Nick?
I heard about it, but I never watched it.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had like a small cameo part in it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you say that actually does remind me of that, but I don't know where it's at, and I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Okay. Wow. Well, he followed up. We're on a 20-second lag here, but he did say something about the fight scene with Maul in Clone Wars.
And that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Some motion capture. I don't know. It's not a spoiler.
I thought I heard that. I thought I saw that somewhere, and it really showed what he's talking about. We're kind of giving things away.
We'll cover that in a second, Zach. But I think it has to be. It has to be. When I was looking at that, I'm like, no way. That's crazy.
Right. You got to look at the Clone Wars, the movie, compared to this episode.
It's
different.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this counts as a cameo, but whenever the two was it the two that are in
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the two that are in the cantina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
It was just funny. It wasn't really a cameo. Another cameo though is Ray Park is actually in episode 1, not as Darth Maul, but as a guard for the Naboo. He's like part of the Naboo guard.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember seeing that one.
I don't know if I remember that. Wow, that's cool.
And there's tons more. I mean, there's so many cameos. You guys know of any other ones or can think of any?
I can't think of any.
I can't off the top of my head. Yeah.
Also, Daniel Craig was the voice.
Oh yeah, the Stormtrooper.
Yeah,
the Force
Stormtrooper.
Awakens.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think there was actually royalty in episode 8. They had the two princes, but then they cut the scene.
Is it the one
that's what I heard too.
Another good move by Ryan Johnson.
Woo! Making friends everywhere he goes.
Oh man, sorry.
My favorite cameo was Captain Phasma. You know, she just kind of came in and out real quick. She's just in garbage chute. Fall down a ledge of a breaking ship.
Yeah. Oh my god, what a wasted character! Holy cow! Like,
yeah.
Right.
Waste.
Terrible.
There's some
Waste
good.
of space.
The book that they released with her was actually good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was decent. It wasn't the best book, but that book made her a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Still didn't make up for it in the movies, but
Nope.
Yep.
Not at all.
Nope. And we did get the upgrade warning again. So
oh my goodness.
Sometimes you just gotta pay some bucks to stop getting annoying. Here's a commercial.
So if you'd like to sponsor the show,
help us upgrade.
You can donate. There's a link below.
There is a link below. Yes, do it. Yeah. Zach said John Williams was the bartender with the eye patch on Kijimi, by the way.
Kijimi. Oh, okay.
All right. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah.
We're going to have
that
to.
makes sense.
The only person that I know that has the full disc right now is Tim, our Sargo himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tim. We need to have Tim on again.
Yep.
Yeah, those who call me Tim.
Classic. Monty Python.
Yep.
You know, a little segue. Did you know that was actually like just ad lib? Because he really had a name in the movie, but he just called him. He was like Tim.
He couldn't remember.
That's
It was like a really long name, and he couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
We just ad libbed that. You're right.
That's classic. Those guys are unbelievably funny and comedy gold, just like Nick.
Comedy goop.
Well, let's. We got 8 minutes till the commercial break, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do for a commercial break. I have an idea. But we'll just show that promo video again.
All right.
No,
did you ever finish the Moisture Farmer commercial?
I got part of the way through that one, but there's things I want to do to make it over the top, and the time.
Okay.
I'm like, I got all this free time, and then I sit down for like 8 hours, and I'm like, well, I got a picture.
Right.
Because
I did one thing today.
I got all this time, and then I'm like in like 40 different directions, and I'm like composing new music while doing some crazy visual effect in After Effects while editing every video that we've ever had to sift it together and try and crop it. I was like, let's take it one step at a time. Even to get those 24 episodes that were in that promo video, I had to re-download basically all of them because 3/4 of them were live or half of them were live. So I had to pull them back off of YouTube, crop them, find some funny bits. So
holy cow.
I started that last week and I was like, I'll put it up last time because it's the final episode. But I'm like, well, you got to finish the season, So anyway, but I have had a little extra free time, but then, so I'm in the midst of doing that, Nick. So that should be because I've had this other video queued up. It's the video we did for the Millennium Dan Van. I had it queued up so we can show the folks a few minutes of that while we're, resetting. But
that's also a good one.
Or you could the Wings of the Kiridax.
Oh gosh.
The full song, eh?
Yeah.
That's true.
That'd be pretty funny.
That's
what
true.
image though?
Oh.
We need to do a music video for that.
We could.
Like put us into that episode of the Clone Wars.
No, we need to make some more tunes for all of the episodes.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know what these episodes would be. We'd have to come up with some good stuff.
Right, just really heavy.
Man, I can't wait to get these spoilers. I want to talk about things so much.
I think we'll do
I should
non-spoilers, and then we'll do the commercial, and then we'll come back to
All right.
spoilers. So we got 6 minutes to talk non-spoilers. It's about all the time we need.
Yeah, I think I already want to go into spoilers, but yeah, no, that makes sense. What else can we talk about? Non-spoilers. Great animation.
It continued what happened in the last episode.
Yeah, you saw it. It starts off right at the exact point.
It did.
Brilliant dialogue. Greater implications on the galaxy as a whole.
Yep.
You find out different timing of things. It's like interconnecting so well, and I love that.
Different.
I don't want to give anything away, but man, is it epic? And it's what I really wanted to see. I wanted to see it from a different perspective. You'll know whenever you watch it. I wanted to see this perspective because it was so cool that we were following Ahsoka in this time, and it's just incredible. What do you think, Nick? Non-spoilers?
I mean, yeah, I'd have to agree with you on all points. I especially agree with you in the different perspectiveness of it. Because, you know, we only know it from the one perspective. And then you're like, oh, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And man, even like the battles, I still think they had to have done this one it seems like all new. Like just the quality of the animation to the story and how it weaves perfectly together. I don't feel like they had this all planned out whenever they're ending Clone Wars a long time ago. I don't know what year that was. I forget now, but I don't think they had that. That's why I think this last episode and this episode are so different and so unique and look so much smoother and so much more crisp and defined, and everything's just so tight and it makes so much sense. Oh man, I just love it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It's amazing stuff. Yeah, it's hard to talk about it without spoiling it, but I know some people that haven't seen all of them. It's kind of one of those things, if you are behind on all of the season, it's one of those episodes that if you'd seen the Clone Wars before this, you could probably jump in at episode 9 and have a really good time watching 9 and 10 so far. And then you could go back and go 1 through 8. But it's cool to see Ahsoka actually. What they do with her kind of through 4, 5, and 6 and 7? Yes, 4, 5, 6, 7, or at least 5, 6, 7. What's that?
I think you're right. I think it was 4, 5, 6, 7, wasn't it? Or,
I think it was 4 episodes kind of with her, maybe. But no, I think it was the Bad Batch was episode 2, 3, and 4. Or no, that was right at the beginning. The first episode was the Bad Batch. Yeah. So they did 4. Fact checker. So
those facts.
Yeah, we did have a lot of fun with the third episode on the wings of Kiradax. I think it was the third episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Ep 3. So we did do a song. So if you guys are cool with it, I'll play it. The only thing is you ain't going to be able to talk because I don't know why I said it that way. But
you ain't going to be able to talk, you hear?
If I bring in the audio clip, they are going to hear everything that's happening on this computer. So they'll have to listen. Okay. I mean, you can laugh along if you want. Sing along. Maybe we do a sing along. They just won't be able to see us. And never mind. So if you guys are cool with that, I'll just put it back to the home screen, and that'll be the commercial break. The song's only about 2 minutes, so if we run out of time for the commercial break.
It's a rough draft, too. Yeah. Rough draft of the song, not the final product.
Yeah, no. This was some fun that we had one night after watching episode 3 of Kiradax, and we really wanted to make it into a full song, of course, and maybe we still will, but this whole pandemic thing rolled right in. And we haven't been together physically since we did that. I'm glad we actually recorded these vocals that night that we were there at the end of the episode. It was late. I think we were all goofy, and I was wheezing because I was laughing so hard. But it was close.
Who's wheezing?
He's wheezing. So let me just make sure that this audio comes through. I'm just going to just do a quick test right now. You guys hear some of that? Oh, you don't hear that. Yeah, you hear that? It's definitely... No. Okay. It's definitely coming through my thing. Yep.
Is it through your headphones?
Yep, it is. So
yeah.
But anyhow, we got less than a minute, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Enjoy this amazing song. We will be back, and we'll jump into the spoiler talk of Mandalorian. I'm sorry, Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 10, The Phantom Apprentice. It's amazing. So enjoy this fun tune that we did, never before heard. And I don't know if I want you to hear it right now, so I'm delaying the inevitable. But no, just kidding. It's hilarious. Dustin and Nick are singing. I did some music for it, producing, and it's classic, instant classic. See you guys in a bit.
Subtitles on. They sure did. We're talking at the same time. Yeah. Echo's got a problem with memories. He was plugged into the system, now he's gonna freeze. You think he speaks Joey? Yeah! On the wings of a Kyridex, flying robots they do attack way up. Way up high. On the wings of a Kyridex, flying robots, they do attack way up high. The robot said, why? Yeah. So much better. I think we're a little bitchy, but we're getting over it. Listening to the sweet sounds of Chewies. Suck it.
Wow, well, that was fun. And you guys could probably see me as I was tinkling away with these settings. So bringing the dudes back in right now to continue on this Stay on Target episode. So hold tight. We'll all be in momentarily. Thanks for enjoying that. I hope you enjoyed that song. That was quite entertaining, if you ask me. I don't know. Did you guys enjoy that? That was a lot of fun. All right, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. All right. You guys hear everything okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, nobody speak at the same time. We got some comments on YouTube and Facebook about the song. Never before seen or heard. And apparently, when I switched over to a different screen as I was re-engaging, you could see me sitting here.
Oh man!
So
Right.
there's the music video. That's about the quality of the music video. All you're gonna get. So,
Yeah.
oh man, that's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But let's see, we got a thingy here on YouTube, and all right, Zarhimoto, LOL, my new favorite song. I love it.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty good. I mean, that high note that Nick hit when he went, ooh, that was
Yeah. So perfect.
man.
It was like the one time I could do it, and it'll never happen again.
It was brilliant. I think I had a little bit of harmony, but in my head I was like, well, I'll sing later. So, but actually, I liked it with you guys kind of singing duet style. Because if you got three people, that's a crowd.
Yeah.
That's a crowd. No, backup vocals, man. That's backup vocals.
That's true. I mean, I did a little bit of that. Ooh, you can hear at one point, but I'm not going to recreate it because I melodined myself in post. So,
Melodyne.
But I still have to do the auto-tune episode where we're just sitting here with auto-tune. Once you guys come back to the studio, we'll just have like
Oh,
a conversation
gosh,
in auto-tune.
You should do it now.
I should.
You
Right,
do it right now. No, don't do it.
No, I won't do it. Oh man, we made it back on. I can't believe it. Wow, this is fun. So
Yeah.
people that
Thank you, everybody who's sticking with us out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
because this is gonna get insane. And if you haven't seen the episode, you're gonna want to go watch it.
Yeah.
Because-
Avert your eyes.
Yeah, we're about to spoil the crap out of it.
Yes, and we hope this has replay value for those that can't watch it live, because you never know when we're actually gonna go live. We might say we're gonna go live at 7:45, but that means at any time between 7 and midnight, we might go live that day. And if we decide not to, it might be the next week.
Yeah, well, quarantine's messed a few things up. It's been tricky with technical difficulties for us to get things rolling. So
Yep.
we can only get better from here.
Yeah, we can only get better
As
from
always.
here. So
You want to keep going up?
the important thing is that we're continuing on, and we're on episode 25. But I don't know what I'm going to say. If I'm going to say episode 1.1 or 2.1, I don't know.
I don't know. We could finish out Clone Wars and
Yeah.
then we're just figuring this out live. Finish out Clone
Here's
Wars.
the plan, guys.
Here's the plan. Finish out Clone Wars in this season 1, and then whenever on May the 4th we could start the second season
Yeah.
Sounds good.
with
Sounds like a plan.
Wow,
What
what
does
a
the
plan.
audience think?
Welcome to Stay on Target meetings.
Come
You
to
have
think of
joined
it,
our meeting.
come to
Let
think
us
of
know
it,
what you think out there in the comments.
does the May the 4th Disney Gallery time out so that this Clone Wars ends and that picks up right on the next week? I think it does.
Well, I mean, how many
If it
episodes
does,
are
then
there?
genius.
There's only 2 episodes left.
So yeah, that's probably
I think it's
probably
gonna.
what they're trying to do.
I think it's
Or
actually
will
going to
it
overlap. I think
overlap?
because
Yeah.
next Friday will be May 1st, the next Friday will be the 8th, and that's 12
Yeah.
episodes. So they will overlap, but that's
Unless they do a 2 for 1, a twofer.
Twofer.
they drop like 11 and 12 next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say earlier too. I think that this is going to end up. This could basically be a movie. How they did all this and how it's
Mhm.
all working together. I think they could release this arc that we're seeing right now as a movie. It's
Yeah.
that good too.
Mm-hmm.
100%
Also-
agree.
Fact checker did come through on the episode. So the Bad Batch were the first 4 episodes, and then the next what was it 3 episodes? No, wow. Next 4 episodes again are Ahsoka. So it's 4 and 4.
It is 4 and 4.
For those arcs, and then episode 9 was the beginning of the Siege of Mandalore.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just so we're all clear out there.
Just well, we definitely want to be
doing
clear.
4, 4, and 4.
We like being clear. 4,
Clear.
4, and then 4, I guess. Yeah, this last arc's probably gonna be 4.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next week's episode. Holy cow!
Well, we
Yeah.
are definitely in spoiler alert territory, so
Yes.
let's do it. I mean, they dropped some
Let's
nuggets.
Dive right in.
They dropped some serious nuggets in this episode. Things that we didn't know that people knew, that we didn't know that they. I was just like all the way around, just unbelievable insanity. What they were talking about. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to rewind
Yeah.
and watch that moment again.
They plopped some gold nuggets in here.
Yeah.
It was just like depth charges all over the place.
Oh
with
my
goodness.
Dropping
Dustin's,
more nuggets than a McDonald's. Mm,
Yeah,
Dustin's double entendre bathroom.
right?
I'm still pooping.
Bathroom humor.
Are you talking about Star Wars? Or are you talking about the toilet?
I'm dropping some golden
I'm
nuggets.
dropping some gold nuggets
wisdom,
too,
man.
if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, but this episode was so succinct with things going on, and like we were talking about earlier, how it was from a different perspective. Man, I love that. I like that they picked up right away. Genius. I wanted to see Maul and Ahsoka fight, but we didn't get that right away. I mean, we did, but we didn't. It was just so cool seeing them even just talk to each other. And Maul in this episode like was raised to a whole nother level.
Yes.
I was like, dang, this is like Maul is trying to top Sidious, and that's what's crazy about this episode. And I love it.
Andy was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just the quips he was saying, it was so funny.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah,
in an evil sort of way.
In an evil, twisted sort of way, but he is a twisted, smart. He's always trying to figure something out. He's always trying to be a step ahead. He's not always successful.
And he's always a step behind.
But he usually is, and he admits it as much.
Yeah.
As we're spoiling. But yeah, I mean, he's disappointed that it's Ahsoka that shows up there. And then he's trying to, after the clones finally get there, he's, trying to pick out information out of, what was the guy's name? The soldier that he...
Jesse.
Yep. And, was plucking information out of him, a la, Episode 7, Kylo Ren-esque, I mean...
Yeah.
Is it the first?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Kind of like Snoke doing it to Rey. Similar, even as the screen cut away as he's screaming,
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't really seen that other than really the new. And I guess Anakin kind of did that in one of the previous episodes of the Clone Wars. He kind of did that. And they were also trying to do that on what's that guy's name? The cool bounty hunter guy from earlier in the Clone Wars. I just lost it. Dang it. See? The pressure. It gets to me.
The pressure.
Oh man, I can't remember his name. Anyway, it was Mace Windu and Anakin were trying to extract information out of the sweet bounty hunter that took them all by surprise every time. And but yeah, so we haven't really seen that force power very much, and it was cool to see Maul use that again, just to show how powerful he actually is in the dark side of the Force and just the Force in general, and what an outlier he is now. He's just out there on his own working, and he senses and knows everything that's going on behind the scenes. That's the crazy thing. You're just like, and it's also like fun for us because we know it's going to happen. So we're like, just figure it out. Like the whole time you're like, figure it out, Ahsoka. We want you to know so you can help.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to see it go the way it goes. How are you going to get out of this one? It's just crazy. That's what kept you on your seat almost the whole time because, we don't know what happens to Ahsoka through this time period. So, I mean, we know end stuff for the most part, but yeah, it's crazy. It kept you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, you're right. You're like, oh, she's going to figure out who Sidious is, and she's going to go team up with Maul to take down Sidious and save Anakin. Yeah. And I mean, wasn't that a huge nugget and humongous when he said the purpose for, this is near the end of the episode, but the part about Anakin.
Yeah. Yeah.
What his real reasoning for finding out who, his apprentice is and drawing them there. Because he basically say, you're like, oh, we get he wants to take out Obi-Wan. He has this vendetta.
Yes, he does. And that's kind of the misdirection in some ways.
But it's
a double, he has two purposes. Yeah. It's both. It's kind of a double win for him.
Yeah, but this kind of shows
double win.
This kind of shows the extreme malice that he has that we knew he had toward Palpatine, toward the Chancellor Sidious, because he was replaced by Dooku.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, well, who does he hate more? Obi-Wan or Chancellor Palpatine? You're like, well. Right. In this particular episode, he hates Palpatine so much.
Yeah,
he wants to take him out by wiping out. I guess Dooku. Did he? I can't remember. You correct me, Dustin, about him and Dooku. Did Maul run into Dooku?
Maul. Yeah. So in the series, I think it's called Son of Dathomir. It's basically it's a comic book series. It takes place after Maul is captured in the Clone Wars by Sidious, and he's taken to Dooku's like dungeon, place, and it's going to be torture for information, all that stuff, but meets Dooku and finds out that Dooku's his next apprentice. So automatically right there, Dooku and Maul aren't really on the best of terms because Maul feels like he's been cast aside, which really he has. But he's trying to get back up to prominence, and that's why he took over Mandalore, and he has his plans and schemes now to be the ultimate Sith in the galaxy to rule over everything, because that was his destiny, or so he thought. Not that ended up happening that way. So that's why they have that kind of vendetta. But then we find out in this episode, I don't know if that's where you were going. I don't want to take that if you were going to cover that, Dan.
Nope.
But yeah, what happens then is just, it's brilliant. It's crazy. And how they weave it so well is, so this takes place, or we just find out in the episode, they kind of time jump. It seems like there's been battles going on, or, I mean, it's pretty right on time with the movie episode 3, which is crazy that we're right in the same path, just on a different perspective of episode 3. The very beginning of episode 3, Dooku and Anakin fight again. And then this is whenever Anakin ends up killing Dooku, and they actually say that, Obi-Wan actually says that. And then later on in the episode, Maul and Ahsoka are talking, and then he says, now I realize, because he hated Dooku or he says something about that, I forget exactly.
Yeah.
But he says, and then he realized he was just like me. Dooku was just like me, just pawns in the game.
One step behind.
One step behind. Yeah, like you were talking about, Dan. And man, that was so brilliant, man. What he was saying, he's putting all the puzzle pieces together. It's so cool to see that all happening and succinct with the timing. You're just like, oh, and we know it's coming. So there's that looming threat, and he's even talking about that in this episode. That looming threat of everything's about to change, and Ahsoka's and everybody else is like, what? No, what? It's crazy. I love it.
It's so epic because we know what's about to happen, but they don't. But you're seeing them figure out what even the clones are like, what are you talking about? Because the clones, they're not going to lose this war.
Right.
They're winning, really, with the help of the Jedi. And, they've had a lot of winning battles. I mean, it's been a long war, but, with Anakin on their side and with, the Jedi and all that, the clones aren't going to go down. So ultimately, that's what does it, when Order 66 and it's crazy.
Yeah, and at this point, nobody thinks that the Jedi can lose. It would be a really long battle for that to ever happen, unless it happens the way it happens. That's the only way the Jedi can be, is if they're totally blindsided.
Yep.
And they are. But otherwise, it's, their confidence is their undoing in a lot of ways, a lot of them. So
yeah, it's true.
It's crazy to see.
Zach said on YouTube it was awesome. The saber fight was definitely the best part.
Yeah, let's get into that.
And then he said, I hope we can somehow we get an Anakin versus Maul fight.
Oh, because that doesn't happen, does it?
I don't think so. Because at that point in Rebels, he's Vader, and he kind of chickens out,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, he said he wanted to fight him, or he wanted him to go there because he wanted to take him out.
Yeah, he wanted to kill him.
But the reason was because he sensed it or whatever, that he was the new apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
he was groomed.
Yeah, being groomed, and again in that time he wanted to just get back at Palpatine and be like, damage him pretty much.
Yeah, take his plan away.
Yeah, take his prize. What was it? His prize away? Is that what he calls him?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right.
So ominous, though.
Yeah, and it was cool. I mean, because Ahsoka must know the legends, the prophecy, which is bring balance to the Force, which I thought was super interesting. And from her perspective, I'm sure she had heard that Anakin may be the one the prophecy spoke of. That was supposed to be balance to the Force, and that's what she says. And then Maul kind of destroys her and is like, no, he's to destroy it all.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was
right.
Holy cow. Oh man, yeah. But let's talk about that fight. Sorry, I don't want to get too far away. I want to talk about that fight. So that was CGI'd. Or motion captured.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they first approach each other, you're like, all right, here's a hold, and they hold, and like, all right, well, we kind of know what to expect. The sabers, everything looks good, everything looks really crisp now. And then all of a sudden they do this wide shot of like Maul like charging at him, and this as they're kind of going forward and back, and the leg movements, the physical.
Yeah,
it was just like Maul fighting in the Phantom Menace.
It was so Ray Park, like
Yes.
fighting style.
That move, I think he even did the spin around, like, that we emulated in ours, but I think he did the exact move, and I was like, whoa, this looks good. It was really gripping.
It jumped up like a whole nother level. I was like, whoa, what is happening? I'm like, this just got buttery smooth and
super fluid.
Yeah. What'd you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell like right away it had to be something different because it was just it was hard to discern if it was actually like animated and live action. Like that's how good it was in my eyes.
Yeah. I know.
It's crazy.
And also right before that, I just want to touch on it. Ahsoka and that whole them talking right before this fight, Ahsoka and Maul. I mean, there's so much lore happening in that talk. And with Obi-Wan before that, Bo-Katan, all that. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna have to watch this episode like 3 more times because there was so much happening in those scenes. It was just so much information. It was so well done. Again, the actors are nailing it. I mean, perfect. Everything is perfect in this. I can't believe how good it is.
It was so epic in that part when they're standing there in that, throne room, basically Mandalorian throne room.
Yeah.
Kind of looking out the fight or whatever, and then they're standing staring at each other, and in that moment, they're contemplating and the glass shatters.
Yeah, that was so cool. That's
that
whenever you knew things were like kicking up a notch.
Yeah.
And right before that, she said she would help him. I did not expect that. I did not expect Maul to offer his hand, which in some ways I was like, she could do that. I mean, she's not a Jedi anymore. Yep. He's not a Sith, really, because he's not one of the two. I mean, he is, but he isn't. So I'm like, that was something I didn't really expect. I don't know why. I just always thought they were just going to fight, which they do end up, but it was just something that took me by surprise still. I should have seen it coming, but and then the decision had to be made. She actually answered him with the one question in mind. I think maybe just to pull that question out of him.
Yeah.
And then the explosion, and at time it was like stood still. How they shot that? I mean, or not shot, but animated that. It was so good. And then you were just like, okay, things are about to get real.
Real crazy. I mean,
REEL.
I mean that, and then didn't he have a line that was reminiscent of Luke in episode 8 or 9? Maul had a line, I thought, that reminded me of the new trilogy. It was something reminiscent of 8 or 9 that I believe Luke said, or Rey said to Luke, or Rey said to Kylo. Maybe Kylo said it to Rey. I can't remember. One of the big ones in episode 8 and 9, there was another line in there that he said that reminded me of that. I was like, hey, that's a callback. So I can't confirm right now because I've only saw it once, but I didn't know if you guys call forward. I don't know if you guys picked up on that.
Yeah,
it was a forced Skype.
Forced Skype, yeah.
Forced Zoom.
Before I get too far, we had Carla on Facebook. I want to acknowledge it. Loved the new song. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you much. Thank you much. More where that came from, I think so.
Yep, and we're gonna be dropping an album whenever the pandemic's over. We're gonna give us some time, but we're gonna have an album. It's gonna be great. Our band name is Jaweez.
Referenced so perfectly by Nick in that song. I love it. You think he speaks Jaweez?
Jaweez?
Yeah. Oh man,
we were a little pitchy, but we were having fun.
And that's the only way to do it, right?
That's the best. That's the best way to do it, and then auto tune it later.
Yeah, auto tune it later.
We're gonna be terrible live.
Yeah, they're like, oh, these guys are horrible live.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, that fight was epic. It was so cool seeing those move sets. I mean, it almost seems like sometimes they jump back and forth, but there were so many cool, especially right off the bat, whenever you were just like, this, it triggered in your mind, you're like, this is smooth. There's something going on here that looks totally different.
Yep.
But it looked so good. It just took it to a whole nother level. And the fighting moves, I was just like, that is Ray Park. That looks like Ray Park's fighting style. Yeah. And it's cool that, Zach saying that he did do that. I thought I heard that somewhere, but I totally forgot until I watched the episode, and I was like, oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And that fight thing went on for a while, and it was reminiscent even of, like, episode 6, fighting with Luke and Vader. and they're in like a throne room, and then there's a battle going outside. It was just, man, so epic. Star Wars. It felt just in a different place in a lot of ways, but so classic and awesome.
It was mind-boggling, actually.
Bottle it up.
Bottle it. Yeah, I just for me, I mean, as I was watching it and I saw the first, move sets come out, because we've done some choreo or whatever, but you kind of know what to expect. Here comes a fight. You watch a film, you're like, okay, I kind of know what to expect. The camera's you're not going to see a lot of wide stuff where you see full body motion because it looks a little janky, but they panned out and I was like, what on earth are they doing? Like, so smooth. The sabers had this really cool motion blur, like bend to them every time they move. And they've done that before, but something about it, just that mixed with the fluidity of the way the legs were moving and their upper body, the motion capture style, especially on the double-sided lightsaber versus her 2. I don't know if we've seen that. It was really cool to see and worth watching again in slow motion to see what moves they were doing.
And that is really challenging from a choreography standpoint. I mean, a double-sided saber with 2 sabers. That is ridiculously hard to choreograph well. With it making it look like everything is like a kill shot or like an attack or a parry, because you got 2 ends, so where the other end is always going to be, but then you got double wielded, so you got to protect both sides. She's doing some same attacks too, which one part was a little weird. I was like, she keeps jumping and right at him in the center. You think, that's the only thing I don't love about double-sided or 2 sabers is like, no, you don't necessarily have to just attack the same spot. You can also come low and come high. But you do open yourself up in some ways. So there is that. But it almost looked like when she attacked him straight on, it looked like she was going to cut right through his double-sided saber. But I guess he caught it on the other end. But it was still a really well thought out scene. It was cool seeing them fight. It was interesting seeing that cut between the motion capture and then back to kind of like there's sometimes it's almost like frame cut style fighting that they have. And then especially going up way high, that was some crazy fighting up on like the rafter.
Right.
Crazy
balance beams.
Yeah. I think the only other time I remember something like that is almost like Pirates of the Caribbean, where they're like up on the rafters. Right, but with like force powers and stuff like that. Oh yeah. Sorry, one other thing. Whenever Bo-Katan starts shooting at him in the throne room,
and
he's just like deflect. That was awesome.
The motion blur of the bending.
That's like curve.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We hadn't really seen that before either. I mean, we'd seen Vader capture, just absorb one. Then we saw Kylo totally stop a bullet or a blaster bolt.
A bullet.
A blaster bolt. And then and then this one was interesting too, because he just was like, nope, get out of here.
Yeah, she wasn't even a threat.
It's like putting your windshield wipers on when there's bugs.
Nope.
The Bo-Katan bug shot.
Yeah. But
there's a name for it.
Bo-Katan bug shot. Yeah, but otherwise, Bo-Katan was epic in this one. Honestly, she is. This is one of the best arcs for Bo-Katan in a lot of ways. When you think about it, I mean, she is acting like the ruler and the leader by how she's carrying herself, by how she fights. She's right in the middle of it, and she's destroying everyone for the most part, other than Paul.
Yep, she's thankful for the Clone Wars helping, but then she's like, "All right, you guys got to go, though." She's like, "I don't want you guys staying around too long," kind of a thing. So. I love how they walked in that throne room and like they're all looking down, and then all of a sudden on the same time, they're like, "Oh, Maul's sitting in the thing."
There he is.
They're like, I totally didn't expect that. I'm like, there's no guard or anybody that knew, how to. But obviously, maybe with the tunnel system or something, he knew how to get in there secretly.
Yeah,
he must have worked out some secret thing. But fact checker came in with a thing that some stats, an article that talked about mocap, and they did do a straight up mocap version of Ray Park performing the movements for this. And then they said the final though didn't quite mesh with the more exaggerated animation. So it says ultimately they settled on the usage or using the footage of Park as a reference, allowing the animators a much better understanding of how he moves. So it sounds like it was still a combination. They took the mocap information and were able to basically reanimate that. But you can tell, I mean, whatever they did, however they did that, it was exactly what they need to do in every animated fight sequence if they can. Because that means that he actually had to sit there and fight with that double-sided lightsaber against somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To make it match up, because they can't just, fake that in post, and with the terrain and everything. So they really put some time into choreographing that fight, which is truly an epic fight. I mean, you wanted that in Rebels when you saw Maul, crustily come toward Obi-Wan, and it's a totally different mindset, totally different everything. But this is like the bad, insane fight that we all wanted Maul to see. Very reminiscent of the Phantom Menace when he's fighting against Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and the duel and all that stuff. So it was like peak performance. I'm like, man, he's doing pretty good. And funny that Ahsoka was like, you better be glad Anakin's not here because he would take you down so quickly, or the way you're fighting or something like that. She was getting a little cocky about he wasn't fighting very good. And I'm like, I thought he was doing pretty good, but he was ultimately bested by Ahsoka.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're right. He was. Technically, he was bested by Ahsoka, which is crazy to think about in a lot of ways. You're like, dang, this is close to his, the height of his power in a lot of ways.
Yeah. He's got his robot legs, but he's moving pretty fluid with his robot legs.
Yep.
He's half the man he used to be.
He's more a machine now than man.
It's like a dad joke.
Well, it's kind of funny because Vader doesn't move like that. But
right,
you think he could eventually, but I don't know. Maybe it's the Zabrak in him.
It's the Zabrak, and his overwhelming hatred and use of the dark side of the Force.
True.
But he's also just more of a fluid, moving, fighting style, whereas Anakin's more of like a train once you become.
Solid.
He's just more of a uses a force more so than his actual physical prowess.
Yes, exactly.
But man, that was so good. We could talk all day about all this.
Months and months. But no,
I'm trying to think.
I'm just saying, like, hands down, if it was one of those epic rants where somebody's like, oh my goodness, like this fight scene was the best animated lightsaber battle I've ever seen in the Star Wars animated. They could have taken this, like you said, Dustin, and turned it into a movie and released it in the theater to like piggyback off the original Clone Wars movie, and this could have been like the final Clone Wars movie.
Yes.
Bookended it because it's just that good. And I mean, so much better in every way than even that first movie. So it's just crazy to think that we're getting it on Disney Plus on a streaming service, and it's the quality way better than the quality of that first movie. Just how they've stepped up their game, and I don't know what the budgets are, and here we go with the time again. But the quality, the animation, crazy cool. Want to watch it again? I actually paused it on the shot where she jumped at him, I think on the ledges, because she was on his leg when they were holding the lightsabers. She was actually balancing on his knee when his leg was bent. So it was like an acrobatic like motion, because I'm like, what did she just jump off of? And then that's when he pushed her back, and she I don't remember exactly. But I think it's when she lost the one lightsaber and then maybe the other one. But anyway, it was right at the end. She jumped right on his leg. It was crazy. I'm like, I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, and she's super acrobatic, so it was cool to see kind of two acrobatic fighters go at it.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Because her fighting style is almost more like gymnastic-like in ways.
Yes.
His definitely is a combination of a lot of different fighting styles, and especially with the double-sided, it just adds another element to it.
Yep.
But
I
agree.
Did you predict him getting away, or did you predict him getting caught?
Nick, I'll let you take this one.
I mean, it looked like he was going to get away. I didn't really see it coming that she was going to catch him. It was, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked, or not shocked. I was surprised that he was captured. I just
it catches you off guard.
I assumed he was going to get away because they had the ship right there. It was kind of classic Clone Wars in a lot of ways for the villain to get away, because we know what becomes of Maul in some ways. So I was surprised that they actually captured him and that she actually defeated him, to be honest. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think that was going to happen, especially with everything to come, which begs the question, the next 2 episodes, I mean, again, they're going to have to explain quite a bit. And I wonder how much time is going to pass too. That's the other thing.
Right,
So
exactly.
what do you think? Did you know what do you think about him getting captured versus escape, Dan?
Me, I did not see it coming. I thought it was. I'm like, oh, this is where it gets away, and then she'll have to chase him into the next episode or something, because this is only the second episode with Maul. But man, they packed. That's why I couldn't believe that fight was happening. I'm like, because they start at the beginning, where it left off in this episode 9. And then it picks right back up, and he's like, not now, whatever. And he pushes her down real quick and runs away.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, that's about all they're going to get. She's going to have to catch up in the next episode or something. But then when they got to the throne room and it all happened in the same episode, I'm like, what? And then I thought, well, he'll get away. But it was so epic. And then even his scream at the end was so visceral.
Yeah.
When he's like, you don't know. What was the line that he said? But he's screaming at
we're all going to burn.
Well, you're all gonna burn or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that was heavy, intense. Not to mention, Dustin, you were talking about last week with the body count when they went back and they got ambushed, like clones just everywhere, and it was crazy. And they're like, he came at us and took us out,
one by one,
like butter or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good grief. That was.
Yeah, that was. No, exactly. We didn't even touch upon the performances. I mean, I think everything just went so seamlessly. That's when a lot of the times it's so well done, because you just don't even realize that you're just like, it's exactly how it should be, But Sam Witwer as Maul, I mean, he brings just such another layer to that character. It's so menacing but smart, calculating, but also whenever he goes to that gut, he's like always on the edge, his Maul is always on the edge of just freaking out, of anger.
He's always paranoid.
And then it was cool to see that at the end whenever he finally is like trapped, he's kind of trapped, but he knows what's coming. He's had that vision and he's the only one that really knows. Nobody else knows what's coming other than Sidious. And Yoda to an extent, I guess, kind of. But then, when he gets captured, that guttural scream, he's freaking the heck out. I mean, it's just crazy.
That was nuts.
I love that performance.
Yeah, it was.
I loved when he was talking to Ahsoka and convincing her. I mean, that's such a Sith move right there to try and convince her to join him.
Yep.
And we've seen that in so many classic Star Wars. I mean, every single one of the Star Wars we've seen that, and it's so good. Oh, and it's cool to see Ahsoka being tempted by that as well.
Right.
We haven't seen her really be tempted by the dark side.
Yep. She was thinking about it. And because she's not a Jedi anymore, she could have done it, and looked out for whatever, In her mind, she's obviously still a good person, as proven in those episodes preceding this. And, she's not going down the dark path. They didn't really hint at that. But, to help him in the meantime to achieve something. It's crazy. Even the stuff that Obi-Wan was telling her about, undercover, basically spying on Chancellor, and she was kind of like,
that was some crazy lore right there.
Yeah, they weren't messing around.
No.
Our fact checker, did you see the picture there? Shared a note that Dave Filoni noted that the duel between Maul and Ahsoka will be, if not the best, one of the best duels he's ever done. So.
Yep, I agree. I think it really was the best duel that he's ever done.
I think so. I mean, I was halfway through watching it.
Better one.
No, halfway through watching it, I'm like, this is so good.
With that much emotional weight behind Maul and Ahsoka, and two characters that everybody loves, I think that's what really emphasize it's because that's the other thing with Star Wars. The best fight scenes a lot of the times are the ones that have the emotional weight behind them.
Yep.
It's not even really the ones that are the most fancy or flourishing or anything like that. It's the ones that have the most emotional weight that kind of anchors and makes it so epic, because you feel for both those characters, and you don't want, or you want one to win versus the other, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you're just totally invested because of that and what's happening. So I think that was genius. It was fantastic. 11 out of 10.
Patrick, your genius is showing.
Yeah.
Where? Where?
Oh man. Well, we got 3 minutes until we are forced into a commercial break or to end the episode. So, powwow. And do you want to? Well, I mean, you said 11 out of 10. I give it 100% out of 10.
Yes.
Wow.
1,000% out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's perfect. Another perfect episode. I think this whole arc's going to end up being perfect.
Yeah. All right.
So, yeah, we're all in agreement.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
we're all in
Agreed.
agreement. It was insane and worth watching again. And, you know, if they released it as a movie on Disney Plus later with just those 3 episodes or however many it ends up being before or whatever to wrap up Clone Wars. Although, you know, spoilers, if somebody just jumped in and be like, what is this? You know, you definitely want to see Clone Wars first. But
Well, they could advertise it even as like a companion piece to like episode 3, you know?
yeah.
Honestly, it's like see episode 3 from a different perspective, because I think this is me just speculating, but I think the next 2 episodes are going to have to be kind of explaining how Ahsoka gets through Order 66.
I think you're right. And I think that this kind of confirms they're going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or maybe somewhere in there, wherever there is.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. I think it's going to.
I think people are back with us now, but we'll be back in 2 seconds. Enjoy this quick little commercial break, and we'll come back to wrap up the spoiler session and this episode 25 of Stay on Target. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Just seeing. Just be like, what's going on with Nick?
This is
Like, hello. Hello. Hello.
Wait, I thought you were grabbing coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I got a drive-through or something.
Oh. Yeah, let's do it.
I thought you said you were pulling forward, so I thought you were grabbing coffee.
No, I just wanted to shut that light off so
Oh.
we could see. And so we figured we'd do a drive-around video,
Yeah.
but in our heads we figured it would be daylight.
It would be daylight. It
So
is
here we
now
are
nighttime.
driving around at night. We can't see anything.
Wait, are we starting now?
I just talk. So
I just thought he's recording. So.
I am recording.
We're
but-
starting.
I mean, you can actually see pretty good, except for Nick.
Except for you can't see anything
a
at all.
shadowy figure.
Yeah. You can see some of my face.
It's flattering lighting, you know. It's
Oh my goodness.
Right at my face.
yeah, right at your face. Yeah, that might be really annoying.
Yeah, we'll just turn it off. It'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. So let's go
Yeah.
find some lights.
Let's go find some lights.
I thought we were getting coffee.
Yeah. Well, that's where the coffee. Coffee.
The lights are where the coffee is, guys.
There's a
Oh my
police
goodness.
officer.
Yep. Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Welcome to talk with you.
Welcome to darkness.
Welcome to the dark side.
Copyright strike.
Copyright strike.
Look at all that light. They can see our faces. Can we see Nick? Now we can.
Now we can.
Hello, light.
Whoop whoop whoop.
What are you guys doing? You having a disco party?
Disco party, yeah. It's gonna every time we say coffee, the word coffee, Dan's gonna beep it out. Hey, you guys want some?
beep?
Yeah, let's go.
That'd actually be
Get
pretty
some
bad.
beep.
We should probably talk about.
Oh wait,
something
we can't
Star-
say beep.
Yeah.
We can't say
We usually
beep.
talk about Star Wars on these things.
Star Wars. Well, yeah, we've started. I mean, it's
We
just
started.
slow going.
It's,
Dustin, start
the
talking
light
about
side
stuff.
hey, I love
It's the-
I do.
channel.
We're gonna get
Let's
some.
talk a lot about Star Wars. You guys watch
talk about
Star?
most- Ah, look out! The crazy person's coming
goodness.
They're
out.
going the wrong way.
Terrible.
We're definitely gonna
Terrible.
die in this
Yeah.
video.
This might be the end, and we videoed it.
Hey, it's
I
getting in here again.
Oh,
Ah.
man. Oh,
Shit.
What are you guys getting?
oh, bro, give me
I don't know. What do you guys get?
a white lightning.
White lightning.
Is that it, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, wow. With turmeric?
know.
With turmeric? Wow, that'll help my aching muscles.
My aching
Yeah.
feet.
Or bones. Okay, and there was a little snippet of one of our videos we did a little while back, and pre-quarantine days, as you can tell, because we were all in a close quarter vehicle.
Super close.
But it was
We're
fun.
a cluster in the van.
If you haven't seen that whole video, you definitely want to go check it out. There's some funny comedy gold there. Nick has
Hilarious.
a cramp at the very end, and it's crazy. It's a terrible way to
I
end.
really did.
He
It was
re-
bad.
He really did. It's terrible. But
It was.
in watching
That's
it
hilarious.
back, it's pretty funny. But we don't laugh at other people's expense when they're in pain. But in the moment, we didn't realize what was going on. So anyway,
Yeah.
check it out, and let's finish
Comedy,
up.
kid.
let's finish up this this Phantom Apprentice episode because it was a massive episode, high quality, 10s all the way around.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Especially with that motion capture fight scene. I mean, that really elevated everything to a whole nother level. Starting off with the same classic logo. Man, that was so good.
Yep.
Music. I'm going to have to watch it again just to listen to the music again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many epic musical moments of this too. Yeah, that are worth just checking out. Yep.
Yeah, man. I just can't wait. Like, I didn't want it to end. I was like, what happens next? I have to know.
Yeah, and I mean,
For the next 2 episodes.
It's hard because you're like, how are they going to top this one? You know, because it had the fight. We were talking about lightsabers earlier on, and some of them, Dustin and Nick, and you know, they didn't have any, and then all of a sudden, I think in the last one, she got the lightsaber, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
the two.
sure enough, she needed it.
Yep.
So, I mean, just crazy. And then you get the best lightsaber, you know, fight maybe ever, definitely at least in the animated or TV world. So just mind blowing. So, I mean, if they could do something like that in you know, real life, but you know, a lot of that is, it's going to be different to see it, you know, live action, you know, because there's some other different constraints depending on who it is that's fighting. But I like that they could do a high wire trapeze artist fight, you know, and jump around. And it's funny. I always find it funny. Like sometimes they caught their balance, and sometimes it was like no big deal just to stand there. And sometimes they're like, "Whoa," you know, to ramp up the fight.
Gravity is constantly shifting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that kind of cracked me up when it was, you know, I'm like, wow, that's a really hard thing to do, like piece of cake, and then all they have to do is stand there, and they're all of a sudden they're like, oh no, and then the fight changes.
Yeah. Right. Also, how they can hang on while still hanging on to with their lightsabers.
Right.
Yeah. So she dropped both of them though.
Yeah.
Good.
So I mean, at least there was some kind of platform below, so she can hopefully retrieve them.
Well, but you know, as we know in Rebels, she has totally different ones.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah. So they could answer kind of how she loses her old ones. This could.
That could. That's very true.
Especially if Order 66 happens here real soon.
Real quick.
Yeah. She doesn't. No, she's unarmed. She's an unarmed.
That would stink to go through. That would really stink to go through Order 66 without lightsabers.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Although
you see though.
Although the weird thing is, because she's not technically a Jedi anymore, are they programmed to still attack her?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Because she's not a Jedi anymore, are the clones still programmed to attack her like they do all the rest of the Jedi?
That's true. Maybe that's how they excuse her through this time. That's how Filoni got around it.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, yeah, when he said that, I was like, man, he's a genius. I was like, because otherwise, the only other option that we had through that time was she was gonna die. I mean, that's what I thought watching most of the Clone Wars. I was like, she's gonna have to go out at some point because I don't know how else we're gonna get around Order 66 with her because we don't see her later. And then Dave Filoni perfectly sidesteps it, you know, and then I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. She wasn't a Jedi. She might just not have been around, you know, at least to the clones and everything when it happened. So she was able to get away and not be hunted because of not being a Jedi. Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's an interesting thought I had. And I was just like, I wonder if that's the angle they're going to play the next episode potentially, you know, and maybe why she can help Rex through it or others, you know.
And that's how maybe they all escape. Those few can get out and go to some desolate planet somewhere. Or
yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next. I think that because they've already kind of wrapped up in some ways
the Siege of Mandalore. Oh, the Siege of Mandalore, yeah.
In some ways, because they captured Maul and they already have basically at this point control over Mandalore.
Yep.
How the next 2 episodes are going to have to explain things, and I think it's going to have to go through Order 66.
I believe
maybe she's going to try and help Anakin somehow, but can't make it or something like that. I don't know. It's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, if this was the final episode, this would have been a decent ending, you know. I mean, obviously you want to see things more happily wrapped up, you don't want to leave on that tense of a note. But I mean, that was so huge. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see, knowing that it's only part 2, and they nailed it on part 1 and super nailed it on part 2. That part 3 is going to be amazing. So,
Yeah.
And then and then the 4th episode, the last episode is probably going to be just a full out wrap up. I would guess.
Kind of like end of Rebels type thing, I feel like.
Yeah, like this is where this person's going. This is where that person's going. Everybody says their goodbyes. It ends with the Darth Vader mask or something, and
something. Yeah, I know.
I don't know the final shot of Clone Wars. I don't know. It's got to have a clone in it, or something.
Yeah, it feels like it. I don't. Yeah, that's gonna be weird. I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up. That's what I'm fascinated to see.
Yeah. So brilliant. Way
What
to
if
go.
they don't? What if they decide to continue Clone Wars, but But I mean, you can't really, because the Clone Wars is ended. But
Yeah.
But with this, I mean, you can't go past into the Empire Wars.
Empire Wars.
I have no idea, but whatever they do, as long as Filoni's in charge, it'll be good. So.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Well, I think that just about wraps up today's episode of Stay on Target with the full band back together. Nick here and Dustin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And us just having a grand old time talking about Star Wars and other things too. Mostly Star Wars tonight because this was a pretty massive one. And I'm sure anybody else that follows any other Star Wars people online, they're going to be going bananas over this episode because well deserved.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if you get a chance to watch it, definitely check it out. We're going to watch it again. And
hopefully you watched it before we spoiled it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Sorry if we spoiled it for you.
Sorry about that.
You were warned.
You were warned.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure. So if you have any questions or anything you want to email, it's right there. stayontarget.contact@gmail.com. Send us an email about the show, about anything. You got a question you want us to answer or a topic, you can reach us there anytime or on our Instagram at stayontarget. There's always some good stuff going on there. So.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like I'm going to be prepping some more commercials probably for next week because we're at least going to be in this situation for another week or 2 or 3. So I'm going to have to get some of those in the can for our timeout situation here. But that's kind of fun, have a little commercial break and give your teeth a watering.
Oh yeah.
Get his teeth wet.
So,
oh man.
Oh my goodness.
I think I was thinking like sink your teeth in, and I mixed the metaphors together. Sink your teeth in.
Well, I mean, there's a little forgiveness. I mean, it's Friday night at 10 o'clock at night. So
right, our brains are fried. Made it through a work week.
Yeah. Dustin's still been out working hard, and he's in his new studio, and I like wherever Nick's at. His studio's brilliant too. Oh, he's in Coruscant. We knew that, so. It's working. It's working great. So he's got the technology now to zoom in. So we're excited about that. So any final thoughts you guys want to share, Nick?
Comedy gold, baby.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was good. It's good to have everybody back together. I can't wait till quarantine's over so we can all really get back together, because that's even more so comedy gold.
Yeah,
and finish up some of the projects we do have some projects in the work, but works
in the work.
But yeah, but with the quarantine and everything, it's kind of hard for us to finish those, but they will be coming. You will see them
for sure.
Eventually. Along with our album, check us out.
Joey.
We'll be on iTunes.
Yeah. If you have any questions for us, contact us. We love to hear from everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in and for watching along.
Yeah, thanks for asking the questions and all that. Yeah.
Yes.
And
like, comment, subscribe. Just remember.
Just remember Nick's best thought of the night.
Oh.
Yep. Oh man, just the invisibility part was hilarious, Nick.
That's so funny.
Oh man, it'll be on the gag reel.
That will definitely be on the gag reel. All right, well that's cute.
That's the next commercial, the gag reel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, those intros were pretty funny.
Those were funny. Those are good.
Some of that
totally different.
But there's moments. All the ending of all of our episodes are hilarious too. So, well, the music's on.
What was your favorite intro?
My favorite intro?
Yeah, you looked through them all.
What's that? Oh, when I looked through them all? I don't know. I like the one. I don't know. They're all hilarious. I like the ones when you guys started doing the, surprise,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this everything. But
Yeah, my daughter actually told me to say a lot of those at the beginning. It was
Yeah.
kind of funny. She'd always tell me one thing to say during the show. She'd be watching.
that's
So
awesome.
like a few of those were exactly what she told me to say.
That's
funny.
awesome. Well,
I also like the invisibility cloak one.
yeah, that
Or
one
you
was
just pop out of nowhere. That's great.
that was genius. Yeah, that one really stuck out as genius. Yeah. So you guys want to give us a good stay on target, fanfaristic ending?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Loosen up.
They came from behind.
All right. See you later.
He's dying. He's in fire. On fire, in fire. En fuego. Ooh. Do your eyes now. Oh dear. Oh, oh no. It's Lava Boy. Ooh. Oh wow, that's creepy.
That's terrifying.
Real creepy.
I can't get the eyes again. I don't know how I got that before.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I want to be in